Welcome to Tuesday, October 31st. Happy Halloween. Your Day with a Podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily, Wyoming's only daily newspaper. Check out their daily email newsletter by subscribing at cowboystatedaily.com. Well, for Halloween today, it's not looking all that scary. Yeah, it'll still be a little bit cool, but we are going to be dry across the region. Temperatures will continue to moderate. They did moderate some yesterday in many areas, and that trend will continue today. So looking okay weather-wise, as westerly flow is going to start to bring Pacific air into the region instead of Canadian air. Now, a lot of the nation today is going to see well below average temperatures as the Arctic air that came in over the weekend will continue to spread south and east. Now, the precipitation that's going to fall in the west is mainly going to be Pacific Northwest, then across the northern Rockies into the northern plains between today and Sunday. There's going to be a very strong and moist jet stream wind hitting the Pacific Northwest coast, driving some Pacific moisture inland. But it's one of these patterns where you get west of the divide some precipitation, harder to get east of the divide, and the jet stream wind is going to be favoring the northern tier of the U.S. This means windy areas at times, nothing terribly awful, but as we get to the end of the week and the weekend, it'll be a little on the brisk side with the winds in the usual wind-prone areas as that west-east flow develops. There will be small weather systems that will ride along the jet stream that will be producing occasional mountain snow and areas along and west of the divide, the Pacific Northwest and northern Rockies, some moisture. But there's nothing looming large right now in terms of a major storm spinning up east of the divide, probably for a week or so. So we're going to have small systems, bouts of wind, bouts of precipitation in the northern and northwest areas of the U.S., but nothing large or big coming our way. Now, speaking of Halloween, trick-or-treating temperatures, this is for 6 p.m. tonight. So these are temperatures in Fahrenheit. So you can see the coldest of cold in the region going to be across the Dakotas, across the northern areas, and elsewhere around 6 p.m. Sure, it's going to be a little on the cool side, but it will be dry. Temperatures not all that bad. Now, these are the air temperatures that are forecasted. If you throw in the wind chill, you can see pretty cold up there with wind chill values. So you'll have to bundle the kids up a bit, but we certainly have had Halloweens that have been colder. Taking a look at the satellite imagery, you can sort of see how the upper level winds are behaving. There's still, you can watch the clouds, still that trend from the northwest to the southeast. But at the same time, these clouds are pushing eastward. So we're starting to see the Pacific air bump up against the Arctic air that is long and east of the Continental Divide. These blue clouds here along the Gulf Coast and into the Great Lakes showing where the really cold air is settling into those regions. But look how clear it is here across the west. That's because high pressure is building in. We've got the low in the Great Lakes, and there's a shift eastward of the Arctic air, and the trajectory of the air is coming into those areas. And then as we go into tomorrow and into Thursday and Friday, as we've been showing you, the flow really straightens out. This is by Friday morning. So a west to east flow from the Pacific. So we're flipping the script. Instead of the air coming from up here, which it's doing now, it's coming from here. So you've got a different result. Along and embedded in this jet stream flow will be several little low pressure systems that will be energetic. They basically just slam into those mountains of the Pacific Northwest, and that's where you'll see the moisture. This is how the temperatures evolve from today through Friday. So you can see the cold shift south and east, then is replaced by those warmer colors, those red colors pushing in from the west coast, across the Rockies, and into the plains. So we'll have a warm up while the coldest of the weather is more in the central and eastern and southern parts of the United States. But just about everybody in the U.S. gets a little bit of that Pacific air here by Friday and into the upcoming weekend. Now, we talked about the jet stream just driving moisture in. So you can see the Pacific Northwest is going to be rainy, at least along and west of the Cascades. But some moisture gets over the mountains there and into the Idaho mountains, the mountains of Montana, and the mountains of northwestern Wyoming. This is through Friday morning. So that's where the moisture is going to be. But boy, a wide swath of the west right here where nada, zip zero going on weather-wise. we'll see this general trend continue into the weekend and maybe get a little bit further south. This is the snowfall forecast through Friday morning. So you can see the snow levels very high actually into southwest Canada and even into the high Cascades. It's mostly going to be rain here initially. This is for Saturday night into Sunday. We have a little bit of a stronger wave coming in the Pacific Northwest coast, but it's generally still that west to east flow. But this is for the 72-hour period of Saturday, Sunday into Monday morning. So what you'll see is another swath of deeper moisture hitting the Pacific Northwest, then stretching across the northern TL. Notice it's getting a little bit further south. So basically these waves will go across the north, producing occasional showers, heaviest in the mountains, along and east of the divide. There will be some showers as well. And that's your snowfall forecast for Friday, Saturday, Sunday into early Monday. So you can see there's going to be a little bit favoring those northern areas again. Now this is by next Wednesday. Still kind of a west to east flow, a similar weather pattern. This guy right here though is probably going to end up being a weather maker beyond next Wednesday. So we're talking about anything that's going to be a significant weather event is probably about 8 or 9 or 10 days away. This west to east flow is going to dominate until then, but this trough will want to come into the Rockies and Great Basin probably the weekend of the 12th or around that time frame. Have yourself a good Tuesday and a happy Halloween. Trick or treat.